Good morning, good afternoon, depending on wherever you at the time of this recording. This is episode 133 of the Restricted Zone podcast. And it's a two-man crew today, man. Kyrie, introduce yourself to the people out here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, Colin? What's going on, viewers? Shout out to everybody that's been tuning in, man. Yo, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to like and comment on every video that we post, man. If you ain't subscribed to us and you watching, make sure you subscribe, please. It helps us out a lot, man. But shout out to everybody that's been watching this, yo. We've been going up a little bit since we joined YouTube.
Absolutely, man. Seems like every week or every other week we get at least 2 subscribers or more, and you guys are streaming our episodes like crazy. Whether it
Mhm.
be Apple, Spotify, whatever streaming site that we are on. I see it. You guys are really tapped in with us. You guys are rocking with us, and we're rocking with you guys too, man. So we appreciate all the love and support. We don't take it for granted. It just inspires us to work harder. So. With that being said, episode 133 is straight basketball today, man. And with some big news happening a couple days ago. We get into it a little bit late, but we're here. Jrue Holiday is traded to the Celtics. He originally was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. We obviously realized that wasn't going to be a long-term thing,
Yep.
obviously. And then, of course, he gets traded to the Celtics. And now the Celtics looking like a super team over here, man. People are calling it the Big Four, and it's kind of crazy because Jrue Holiday, I think he's a little bit. I think he's an upgrade past Marcus Smart. But before we really get into all that, uh, the NBA has been making a lot of moves lately in terms of the Eastern Conference. Teams are really making a lot of moves. I feel like the West has kind of been stable. Besides a few teams, the Suns stocking up. We know what they got to do. The
Mhm.
Nuggets are reigning champs.
Lakers.
The Lakers too definitely made some key signings, re-signings as well. I like the Jared Vanderbilt re-sign, and
Sure.
they picked up Gabe Vincent. They did a lot of nice things.
Christian Wood.
Keep Absolutely keep themselves competitive. So and listen, I just feel like now the NBA championship, even though the Nuggets are the reigning champions, I think they don't got a firm chokehold yet because I feel like the East they got some competitors, but Kyrie, listen, let's get straight to it. Jrue Holiday trade to the Celtics. I mean, what does this mean for the Celtics? What does it mean for the Eastern Conference? What does it mean for the main competitor, the Bucks? Because it's literally at this point 1A, 1B. It literally depends on however you want to look at it. So go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, give me your thoughts on that.
Well, it's a lot, yo. It's a lot to tackle with this trade
Mm-hmm.
that went down right here. It's definitely a seismic change that's been made in the East this past couple of weeks. Of course, with the Dame trade and them stocking up, and the Boston going out and getting Jrue Holiday, a perennial two-way point guard. It can go out and guard your first option, your second option every night. And he's just a professional. He's a straight professional. He's a guy that's going to fit in well with the Celtics culture. But bro, as far as what it means for the East, I mean, we're fans of Eastern Conference teams,
We're
Sixers.
from the East Coast.
So I'm a little shook, and I feel like other teams I feel like other people that are fans of like teams in the East that are not the Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks are feeling the same way, especially Heat fans, because
Oh
I feel
man.
like the Heat fans got robbed because not only did they get Dame, the guy Dame got traded for and Jrue Holiday landed on a team that everybody and their mom knew he wasn't going to keep him, and they
Mm.
couldn't even get their hands on him after the Dame thing fell through. So it was just like a double slap to the face.
And me personally speaking, I feel like Jrue Holiday fits the Heat more than the Celtics. Me personally, because of the
I
defensive
think the Heat
style.
needed him more. The Heat needed him more.
I feel like if they had Jrue Holiday, I'm thinking, wait, now the Heat really could have made some. They probably could have possibly not win a championship, but they could definitely strengthen their chances to win a championship because, well,
But this is the thing with Miami, bro. Like, what really do you got to give up? I mean, Tyler Hero, of course, was going to have to be dangled in there. But Portland made it clear, even through the Dame trades, that they didn't really want Tyler Hero.
it doesn't make all the guards they have
Mm-hmm.
like it just made no
They,
sense for Tyler Hero to go there.
they weren't going to get Bam out of bio.
That was a glad.
They probably wasn't going to let them touch none of the young guys like Jovic, or I don't know, maybe he would have been in there. Or they definitely would have let Jaime Jaquez be in there.
They wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't have let Jaime go. It wasn't really nothing you had to give them. So I think Portland realized that early, And they turned Damian Lillard. And let's talk about the guys they got returned for Jrue Holiday, because we got to talk about that on the end of the Celtics losing. They lost Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams,
Of
and
course,
I
of
think
course.
two future first round picks or something like that. A 2024 first round pick via Golden State, and a 2029 first round pick. So they Portland got them some more depth. They got some veteran talent in Malcolm Brogdon, who's been around, who's really helped the Celtics and was a key part to them making the Eastern Conference Finals last year, this past season. And Robert Williams, even though he was down a lot of this season, he was in and out, and he was dealing with some bad injuries. He's still, when he's out there, he's still an effective big. He's an effective rim runner. And being out there with you got a big like DeAndre Ayton now, that's going to take a lot of pressure off him.
Huh. Now, and the thing is, Robert Williams, can you switch him to the forward? He's not really a guy that can really. He's not.
Mm,
He doesn't. He's not diverse enough to be a forward. So it's kind of
yeah,
like, is he gonna be fine coming off the bench when he was starting with the Celtics on a championship contending team, and then
yeah.
he goes from that to
Well,
clearly a
he
rebuilding.
he was in and out of the starting lineup
He
because
was hurt,
dealing with the
right? He was
injury
hurt. Yeah,
in
of
and out.
course.
So being over there in Portland, I don't know how well him and DeAndre Jordan, DeAndre
DeAndre Ayton.
Jordan, DeAndre Ayton are really like pair up down there, because DeAndre Ayton is an interior big. He doesn't take a lot of jump shots or a lot of mid ranges here and there. But I don't know. Portland's young. They can afford to like experiment with some stuff and just like throw guys
Of
out there and
course,
see what works and what doesn't.
of
And
course.
landing a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who, like I was mentioning, who's been around the league, one rookie of the year, 50, 40, 90 club. He's just a pro's pro, and everywhere he's
He
going,
he's a veteran. He's a veteran that's gonna take Scoot Henderson under his wing and show him how to be a professional. Pretty much.
exactly.
Shaded
I
Sharp as well. He needs it.
sharp Anthony Simons, because Anthony Simons still isn't fully done
What?
developed.
I think Dame did his job. I don't. Dame did his job.
A lot of them, you see, a lot of Damon CJ did wear off on Ant.
Okay, all right. You see, all right, all right. As long as you see,
Him coming off them screens and stuff, like he definitely got some of that from CJ. So they left their imprint on him.
he's good.
But it's still Malcolm Brogdon though. He still got a lot to learn from him. As far as he still got, I feel like he's got a lot to offer these guys here in Portland, and I think it could kind of be a breath of fresh air for him. Kind of like how he was in Indiana. He
Mm.
didn't really force his way out of there into to like playing with a contender. It just kind of happened. But when he was playing with like a less talented Indiana team, he
He put
still
up
made it
numbers. He did. He put up
more
numbers.
competitive in a lot of aspects. So I like them getting him. But back to Boston, the meat and potatoes of this, bro. Jrue Holiday and Derek White in the backcourt. You're talking about losing Marcus Smart, but having those two in the backcourt right
I
there,
think it makes up for it.
it's going to wreak some. It was going to wreak some havoc. It's going to wreak some havoc because they're both 6'4". They're both switchable. They're both getting good at getting through screens. Like in a lot of ways, Derek White's like a diet version
A
of Jrue
diet Drew
Holiday.
Holiday.
He does a lot of the same things. He's in the playoffs explode and be able to get to a bucket, but he does a lot of the little things, a lot of the hustle plays, diving on the
Can you talk
floor.
about that? Can you talk about that putback, man? Come on.
Exactly, prime
Come
example.
on.
Yo, watching that live was crazy too. I couldn't even believe that. I thought it was up,
Fundament. I
bro.
always say fundamentals, right? That's a guy that was clearly taught the most important plays are sometimes the hustle plays.
Didn't he pass the ball in?
Yes,
He passed it in off. I think in that play, right?
he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's what he did. Yeah.
yeah, something like. But those two in the backcourt alone, I'm not even thinking about Tatum Brown and Kristaps. Them
Oh,
two in the
they're
backcourt
fine. They're
alone.
fine. They're fine.
Them two in the backcourt alone, bro, and Tatum and Brown, I can't really diss them because they've grown. Jalen Brown's always been a good defender, but Tatum's grown into a really good defender too.
Yes, yes. Could
And
do more, but
I
yeah.
think I'd assume they start Kristaps at the five. So
Well, he's a defensive liability, though. He's not. So, but you got no choice because he's
whoa,
the only
whoa,
big man.
you can't say he's not a liability. He
He's
protects.
not. Excuse me. He's not a defensive liability. He's not as bad as Jokic. He's not as bad as some other big, like Carl Anthony Towns. He's not as bad as some of those guys.
Exactly.
But he's not as. But he's not. He's an average defender, and that's fine if you're for the Celtics. That's fine
Mm-hmm.
for the Celtics.
Yeah, when you got those guys on the wing, you got those guys on the perimeters. It's going to negate a lot of guys getting into the paint and a lot of penetration that happening. So that's a scary starting five to look at. And I I want to hear what you got to say, bro. As a Sixers fan, I mean, y'all was up there with them as far as like ratings last. Y'all was like one of the top,
Well,
both top teams in the East last year. You seen Joel's reaction to it. He said, "Yo, this offseason been crazy." Like,
very
and
true.
and y'all are going through it still with Harden. Him still, he showed up to the training camp, but he's still voicing his opinion. I mean, voicing his displeasure with the Sixers and saying that he wants to leave. So as a Sixers fan, bro, what do you think about this move the Celtics made, like, and how much of it improves them?
Well, I know for a fact, as a Sixers fan, and I'm saying this for every Sixers fan, I hope none of us had championship aspirations. 'Cause those pretty much out the window.
Yeah.
Chris gonna love hearing this. Uh, I mean, honestly speaking, what's the maximum we could get for James Harden? Because I feel like there's nothing we could genuinely get for James. Because who really wants to get James Harden? You're gonna sacrifice a lot to get an aging guy
Hmm.
who he doesn't play defense, right? He's an on and
Exactly.
off guy. He'll give you 45 one game, but then he'll stink it up and give you 7 turnovers with it too the next game. He's
Hmm.
not reliable in the playoffs, so you're only really expecting him to elevate you in the regular season, but we need you in the playoffs, so it's like, and then the Rockets were actually wanting to go in with, well, it was some steam. The Rockets wanted to get him. And
Right.
it turns out, but I read an article. The Rockets head coach Udoka said Fred VanVleet was the better fit for the Rockets. But I also believe so too.
I agree with that. I definitely agree
But
with that.
James Harden is just doesn't fit anywhere. I think the Clippers are probably the only team. Honestly, that would be James Harden last shot at a title. Just the Clippers, because he can't win it with us. It's over with, to be honest with you.
And I like that. That's a good point that you brought up, Colin. Because I'm gonna keep it short because I want you to talk a little bit on the Celtics and their trade more. I want to see your
Right.
opinion on it. But if you're James Harden and these past few seasons you forced your way out of Houston, made it a whole debacle.
Mm,
Forced your way out of Brooklyn, made it a whole debacle. You're
that's
playing,
it.
and not to mention you're playing with two future Hall of Famers in Brooklyn. That
Mm.
and now you're playing with an MVP and another future Hall of Famer and Joel Embiid, and nothing's good for you. Nothing makes you happy. You're
So now
getting
we
you're getting
seeing he's
paid
the
bad.
common denominator now. All right. Now
So
you see he's the common denominator.
so it's like what? Why do you expect a team like the Clippers to put their necks out and give up draft capital or give up a key guy like Terrence Mann or something like that, or maybe even a Bones Highland? For you in your past three stops, you've continuously just made a mess out of everything and just and made nothing but media headlines for the wrong things. Still
Mm.
playing pretty good. Still playing pretty good. I gotta
He
give him his
averaged a
credit.
double double. He did.
Exactly, putting up his 20 and 11 like I thought he would when he re up with you guys last year and he came and decided to come back last year. I said it. He's going to put up anywhere from 18 to 21 a game and average like 9, 10 assists. Put up 20 and 11 and like you said though, it worked well in the regular season. What was y'all, the second seed,
He was the third seed.
third seed,
Mm-hmm.
and
I think the Cavs was fourth and the Knicks was five. You guys were five.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But still, second round exit. He couldn't take y'all over the hump. So it, I don't see how he expects a team like the Clippers to look at him like, yo, this could be a guy that takes us over the hump. When you showed in your last few stops that like you just you're just a problem. You're just a walking problem.
Man, and not only that, it's just like, what's the expectation for James Harden at this point? Regular season, can he still give you a double double? I think he could. But the most important thing, once again, is the playoffs. Uh, Man, your playoff history, it just sucks. All right, I almost said something crazy, but I'm gonna keep it PG. It
Mm-hmm.
sucks. It flatline sucks, and I feel like no team or contender is gonna look at that and say, "That's why I thought it was crazy when we got him." I mean, I did support James Harden. Chris will bring it up. I said my guy when he dropped 45
Yep.
because I didn't expect it. I
You
don't think anyone expected
happy
him to do that.
going.
Right.
Yep. You was happy that Ben was going. That's what it was, bro.
No one expected it. I'm like, can he pull this together? And then he sticks it up next game. So yeah, and then that's just the reality of it. And that's what any team, when you get James Harden, you gotta expect that. You gotta expect he'll go off one game and he'll absolutely disappoint you the next game. But I think for the Clippers in their case, like I said, I think it would be absolutely nuts if the Clippers trade for James Harden. I think they don't need him at all. In no ways, they really don't need James Harden. But let's say if they were to trade James Harden. I would be ecstatic if we could get Terrence Mann. They wouldn't throw in Norman Powell. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't
No,
do it.
but
Nah, they
I was
wouldn't
putting
do that.
like a dub
I'm
on
just,
the bench. They need that for
yeah, I'm just, I'm
years.
just, I'm just wishfully talking right now. But it's and then a couple of draft picks maybe. Because we're going to need a draft picks. Because I really feel like Joel. Does Joel want to be a Sixers for the rest of his career? I can't say 100% anymore. Ask me 2 or 3 years ago, I'd say absolutely, and knock it the f off. Don't even ask me that type of question. But now, hey man, if I'm Joel, I just want to see him play under Nick Nurse. I want to see him play under a coach that's going to utilize schemes. He's going to actually make offensive adjustments. He's
Mm,
actually going to utilize the bench. He's not just going to play 6, 7 guys and keep them on the leash, right? You're
right.
really, like, I like Nick Nurse as a coach because, once again, I said this many times in the podcast. After Kawhi left, he still took that team 53-19. Let that sink in. No superstar. Now imagine you got a superstar, you got a young star in Tyrese Maxey. I think he's a young star. I think this is his year. I think this is Tyrese Maxey year. I feel like they got to give Tyrese Maxey the keys. Let him play point guard. Let him, and I feel like he'll do a phenomenal job at it. He's quick, athletic, can shoot. All three. Listen, I just think it's time. I think it's time we either,
We got
like I
let me.
said,
I got a question to ask you though, because we
what?
kind of got to get back on track here. But let's say hypothetically, you guys do make those moves. You do say let's say the Clippers give you guys what you want. They give you Terrence Mann and two future first rounders, or two future picks in general for Harden, and I don't know, maybe some stragglers along with it.
Well, listen.
But and on top of that, Tyrese Maxey turns into that 23, 24 point per game guy, starts to
Yeah.
take that next step towards superstar status.
I mean,
Where do
I
they
would.
where do they compete with Boston at that point?
Well, I mean, listen, the Nuggets won with a great supporting cast that had defined rules and they played it to their best of their ability. They had a great coach in Malone. He's a phenomenal coach. Look at what he did from 2014 to now. He's developed every single one of those guys. Not that besides that he brought in the past 2 years in the year, obviously, but he's developed Yoga, he's developed Murray, he's developed MPJ.
Mm,
So I'm looking at Nick Nurse and no, he didn't draft those guys, right? But I'm sure he's played against them for a good amount of times to have a good grasp of their strengths and weaknesses. And now being the head coach of what these guys, personal and in phase day to day, I'm pretty sure if we get the right supporting cast, we let Maxey and Joel Embiid do their thing. I think now, can we win a championship? I don't know. The Bucks and Celtics are too damn stacked, to be honest with you. But
mm-hmm.
man, I feel like I would say I would take my chances with that Sixers team as opposed to what we have right now. And let's say James Harden decides to stop whining and pouting and he wants to play with the Sixers again. I'm not that ecstatic about it. I'm really not because it's just
Right.
like you're taking away from Maxey once again, right? You're taking away from him. But I don't think Nick Nurse is the type of coach that'll just play a star just because he's a star, right? If he
Right.
sees Maxey is a young, if he sees Maxey the guy, he could be that guy. I'm sure Nick Nurse will have no problem putting Maxey in that position. So I'm
Mm.
not too worried about that. Doc, obviously, we saw what he did. But yeah, man, like I said, I think the Sixers would still be competitive, but I don't think we still be championship contenders. But
Yeah.
will we have a better shot? Of course. Right now, we don't have a shot, in my opinion. It's just
Yeah.
zero to me,
I, f-
literally.
I feel it. So I got one more question about Boston, unless you want to talk. Unless
No,
you want
let's
to
talk about Boston. Let's go. Let's talk about Boston.
talk, because obviously we know on the court it's five players and it's one ball,
Mhm.
and you got four guys in your starting lineup potentially that all could at least give you a dub a game. Jrue Holiday's probably more like 18, 17, 18.
I'm gonna say Jrue Holiday since he's the point guard. I'm gonna keep it 15 to 16, but he'll have 7 assists. I mean, he'll have more than 6 assists in my opinion.
But this is my thing. A guy like Derek White, I'm not worried about because he just lets the game come to him.
Of course.
But where, how does Jrue Holiday? I'm trying to think of a way to word
Well,
this. How does Jrue
so
Holiday put together that puzzle of keeping
well,
Jason Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps, and Joe Mazzulla too, because it's going
well,
to be part of the job too. how do they distribute the ball between those three guys, their main three guys, and Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis, and keep everybody happy? Like
Well,
it's not enough basketball to go around. I feel like and I felt like before even the Drew trade, when they got when they got Porzingis at first, I felt like like I don't know who's going to take the back seat, and I don't know if anybody's going to be happy to take the back seat. It can't be Jaylen Brown because you just made him gave him the best contract in NBA history. Porzingis it was just been showing you in Washington like when you give him the ball, he's a deadly scorer. And Jason Tatum is Jason Tatum. So what do you how do you think Boston kind of puts together that puzzle of keeping everybody happy and keeping everybody involved on the offense when it comes to those guys?
I don't think Drew Holiday takes anything away from them. I think he only adds. If Drew Holiday was something you had to sacrifice any one of those three stars, then maybe the Celtics wouldn't be too eager to really get him. Maybe
Mm,
they would still get him just because it's Drew Holiday at the end of the day, but he doesn't take anything away because you're not bringing Drew Holiday to score. You're bringing him. He's an upgrade of Marcus Smart to me. He's a better scorer than Marcus Smart. He's clutch, and he gives you the same amount of defense Marcus Smart gives you. Uh,
mm-hmm.
if you want to say Drew Holiday is a little bit older and that's why people are not too high about him, that's fair. He's what, 32, 33?
He's like
He's a little bit, but I still think he's one of those guys. He's always kept himself in shape. I never saw Drew Holiday ever out of shape. He's
never
always kept, never. So, like, that's never been it. So
because
I
he's
think
skinny. Yeah, he could be.
he really came in like he was skinny, skinny, man. I remember that.
He was
But
super. Yeah.
if I've never seen him, so durability's never been an issue with Drew. Well, it has been because he has seasons, but I feel like he doesn't take anything away from the Celtics team because he brings defense. He's a smart player, especially on the defensive end. He knows how to give help when it's time to give help to certain defenders. He doesn't really sag off defenders. And then as a point guard too, he's hounding. What's the most dynamic position in the league right now? Point guard. Who's one of the best on-ball perimeter defenders in the league? Jrue Holiday. He
Mm-hmm.
can only help the Celtics, and he doesn't. He's not a hunter for the shot. He doesn't look to score and take 20 shots. That's not Jrue Holiday. That's not him anymore, at least, right? And I'm
Right.
sure he understands this is not his team. Never will be. Never was. Now Jaylen Brown. Uh, someone so Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis. Now I just said Jrue Holiday wouldn't be affected, but now you got Porzingis, and then you got Jaylen Brown because I feel like at the end of the day you're not going to take anything from Jason Tatum because he's the de facto star. Whether
Mm-hmm.
people want to go Jaylen Brown to star, I don't want to say that argument anymore because I think but Jason Tatum is the star. He is the Celtics. He's gonna get his shots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who wants to play second fiddle to Jason Tatum now? It's got to be Brown or Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Brown's been here long enough. He has the chemistry. So,
Mm-hmm.
naturally, it would make sense for Brown to be the second option. Now, Kristaps Porzingis, he was having issues with the Wizards because he didn't want to be, even back then, to the Mavs, he didn't want to be a second option. To the Wizards, he didn't want to be a second option.
I, I,
He ended up being the main option when Bradley Beal went down. But
yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis wants to be the man, but I'm sure at this point Porzingis knows that this is Tatum's team. This isn't his
Yeah.
team,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even you can't even be the second option because Jaylen Brown. Granted, did he work on his ball handling? I saw a video when he was bouncing the ball when he went to his left hand. I don't know what that was about. I hope that was just like to be funny. I'm gonna say he was just trying to be funny because I would hate to sign him that contract and you're still struggling with your left. That's ridiculous at that point. So
Yeah.
that's honestly ridiculous. But like I said, Jaylen Brown, in my opinion, is moving forward until the coach feels like he sees what he sees at training camp. Sees a couple of games early on in the season, maybe about Christmas. It could be some things switched up, but I expect scoring options to be number one Tatum, number two Brown, and the third one is Kristaps Porzingis.
Okay.
That's what I expect it to be.
I definitely agree with that. I think Porzingis is going to definitely be the guy that takes the back step, like out of those three, out of Brown,
He has
Tatum,
to.
and himself. Because I definitely agree with you. I don't think Drew is coming there. He's definitely not coming there to hunt shots. He's not coming there to be, like I said, the 18 to 20 point per game scorer.
Right.
And he's not going to be asked to take a lot of shots in crunch time. That stuff's just going to flow and have to come to him,
Of
or there's
course.
just a complete mismatch with him.
Right.
But when it comes to Porzingis, my thing is, I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I personally don't think that he like minded being a second option because you got to remember where he started. He started in New York as a second option, like to Carmelo Anthony, a top 10 all time scorer.
Well,
So
I mean that was kind of like that's the only exception.
what?
Outside of that,
What I'm saying though, he came into the league as a second, as a top five pick. Usually, you're coming to the league and the team that you're going to, you're
second
going to be the
option.
first option. You're the
Right.
top guy for the most part.
Right.
But he came in. He came in and had to play second fiddle, had to play Batman to a guy that was already super accomplished and was on. And to be quite honest, after that, like a season, like that season, I think was on the way down until he revitalized himself in Portland or whatever. But like he was on the way down and he was dealing with health issues and stuff.
Right.
But
Of course.
he still seen what it was like and got comfortable and understood what it was like to play with a guy that was the primary scorer and
Of
not
course.
himself.
Of course.
So, but what I think it was, that was different when he went to Dallas was they've diminished his role so much playing second fiddle to Luka Doncic because Luka Doncic always has the ball. When you
Right.
watch the Dallas Mavericks, he always has the ball in his hand. He's always creating, and I'm not trying to like say it as a slight against him or anything, but he always has the ball in his hand. He always creating. He's always probing. He's always like trying to find the open guy. The
Right.
ball always finds itself. The ball always finds its way back to him, like late in the shot clock when they need a shot and they couldn't really create nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really leave any room for Kristaps for real. Like
Right.
at least from what I seen, they turned him straight up into a stretch big, and that's it. Like yeah, he can knock down the three, but getting those touches, he's a guy that has to get his rhythm too. Has a guy that has to see the ball going, and he can get hot. Like I've seen it with the Wizards this season, and I've seen it with the Knicks in his first couple of seasons where there was a lot of times like Melo would be on the floor from him, but they drew up plays for Kristaps. They drew up like alley oop plays and backdoor stuff for him just to get him involved and just to get his
Mm-hmm.
confidence up there. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think the problem was in Dallas was that Luka Doncic had the ball in his hands so much, and the attention was on him so much that Kristaps couldn't really flourish in his role as that second option for real. Especially in the playoffs when of course in the playoffs you're playing against the same team multiple times. So those exploitations are going to hit harder because
Right.
just because they're so used to seeing it and they're so used to what you're going to do and can already kind of anticipate what you're going to do. So when it came to Kristaps, he became a non-factor in a lot of them, like a lot of those playoff games we seen him these past couple years in Dallas. So I don't I don't really see how that'd be different here in Boston because you got two
That's
guys
it.
in Tatum and Brown that can both put up 25 a game,
Exactly.
and the Celtics offense flows a little. It flows a little bit more back. You're going to miss having a guy like Grant Williams because he was a guy that kept the ball flowing and stuff like that. But you
Right.
still got like Peyton Pritchard. I think you still got, Al Horford. I'm blanking on a few guys that's off their bench, but I still think they'll have like that flow to them offensively. But I just don't see how Kristaps being third string, like a third fiddle now for real, can like be impactful. Like I
Well,
don't
I
see
think
it
well
happen.
then it falls down on the coach too. Falls down how he manages it.
Say that.
I think you hear me? Oh yeah, I think it falls down to the coach at the end of the day too. At the same time, the players
Yeah.
should figure it out themselves, right? They
Hmm.
guys communicate, obviously figure out and work together. But then it falls down to the coach as well, you know. And then
Yeah.
I don't know. Is the coach? He's really young. If you would have told me Brad Stevens, I'd have been 100% confident because Brad Stevens is such a genius to me.
And that's my thing too.
He's such a
Second
genius.
season, or is
Such a
this his
genius.
third? No, second season, right?
This is his second season because he took that was his first year taking
Yep, second season.
the Mister Never Call Timeout coach.
Yeah.
Him and
I
Coach
mean,
Cal. Him and Coach Cal.
yeah.
Mister Never Call Timeout coaches. Telling you, man.
Be having them out there looking like LA Fitness at 3
I
p.m. Still won't call time out. Like,
I will never understand it. At least Coach Cal eventually changed his ways. Let's see if this guy changes his ways.
right.
But yeah, I feel like the Celtics, and then that also leads up to the next question of the episode because it's like which team between the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Suns and the Lakers. I'm gonna throw the Lakers in there. Those are like who's the biggest threat to the
All
Nuggets
right.
as the reigning champions?
See, I'm glad you said that because when we were supposed to do this episode with more people,
Yeah.
when and I was thinking of this question, the first team that came to my head was the Lakers, and I
Mm.
just like I honestly thought people would like think I'm crazy or whatever, but like I'm hearing you say it, and it's like I like yeah, like I feel like the Lakers could definitely be a threat to the Denver Nuggets because let's not get it twisted. I think Denver might be in for a slight regression next season
Mm.
because they're going to have to play more of the young guys. I think Christian Braun is ready. But I don't really think any of the rookies they drafted are ready. I don't think Peyton Watson is really ready,
No, he's
like
not
for
ready.
heavy minutes. Zeke and Najee, like I'm not
I'm a
sure
little
about.
I'm a little optimistic about Zeke Najee because he'll
I
give him
mean,
more minutes.
I like Zeke, but they don't play him much. They don't play him at all.
Who's he behind now? Aaron Gordon. Who else? Who else
They're-
is? Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, I think yeah,
but and it might be more. It might be more time for them because Jeff Green left. I forgot where
exactly.
I forgot where Jeff Green went to.
Did not pay attention to that.
I can't remember, but Jeff Green left, and Bruce Brown went to Indiana.
Sure did. That
So
that was a hurt piece. But
that was a
listen,
hurt. I didn't expect that. I honestly
yeah,
didn't expect that.
yeah, he won his
I
money.
thought
He
he,
the champion now. I think he got that ring. I got what I wanted in this championship career. I'm a winner. So hey,
yeah,
chase the
and
bag now. I don't blame him. Chase the bag.
right. And I don't think it's going to be like a huge regression or anything, but I think we're going to see some type of regression in the Denver Nuggets,
Okay.
just a little bit. Honestly, I was just thinking to myself the other day, like right now, I feel like they really miss a guy like Bones Highland, and I know they had like
Mm.
the little fallout and stuff leading.
Bones Highland doesn't play defense though, man. He'll give you 20, but man, he'll let the other guy
Yeah,
give you
and
25 and 30.
that's what you got Christian Broad, and that's what you got Kentavious
But
Caldwell. Like,
I would love to have at least if I'm gonna put out five. Like, yeah, I don't want a lot because the playoff time he's gonna constantly get attacked.
but I don't think so because the Nuggets play team defense. They don't.
And
It's
but
very,
Bones Highland is too. And then he's like what 160. One
but
he's not.
this is the thing. No, Bones definitely put on some weight over the summer. I've been watching him all summer, bro. He's been going crazy.
All right,
Not
let's see what he do.
advocate or nothing for him. I'm just saying I think the Denver Nuggets have missed him in this aspect as to where they could. I definitely think they could use a guy that could provide a punch off the bench, a scoring punch off the bench, and at certain times close games with the starting unit
Mhm.
because he's a willing passer. There was times he's definitely because you got to remember, yo, he's still super young. He's still super young, but
I was gonna say, oh, I've seen some guys. Listen, go ahead.
I was just saying, there's sometimes that he could be erratic with his, like trying to trying to make the flashy plays and stuff like that. But we can't act like when Jamal Murray was out, he wasn't out there doing his thing as a rookie in Denver. He wasn't really helping
I
out there.
like Bones Highland. I do. I really do like him. I feel like the Nuggets, but hey, when they traded him, they play just went up, and it was just like that's
Yeah,
undeniable in itself.
it
That's an
is. It is,
undeniable right.
and that has to do with chemistry because there's locker room issues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely plays a part.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that all to say I think having him would still at least would make this year after a championship a lot easier for them. Like move, especially losing guys like Jeff Green and Bruce
That's true.
Brown.
That's true.
But I say that all to say, I think the Lakers definitely could be a. I think they could be I think they could be a nightmare low key for the Denver Nuggets because one, they match up with them better than they did last year. We saw Rui Hachimura. He had some success against Nikola Jokic in the
Mm-hmm.
series last year.
Yeah.
They brought back Jared Vanderbilt, like you said.
Sure did. 56 million, I believe. Yeah.
Mhm. You got a mid level rim runner in Jackson Hayes who's going to block shots, who's going
Mm-hmm.
to run in transition, who could really keep up with that team, who
Yeah.
switch. Like I really
Gabe
like the
Vincent, got the playoff experience.
slide around that
He brings a
point.
little bit that he culture with him too. The
Mm-hmm.
mindset, the grit and grind. Yeah.
Torian Prince, you got him as a wing defender, the guy that
That's
can
it.
hit threes in the corner. I really like the upgrades that the Lakers, and not to mention Christian Wood, who it was
Yeah, man.
some
Listen.
he had a down year in Dallas last year, and a lot of it was on him because he don't play
Okay.
no defense, and
Yeah,
he
sure.
wasn't
Yeah.
getting
And that's
because
another one. You put him in the game, you don't expect defenses to take advantage of it. That's just what's gonna happen. You'd hope the offense offsets that, but we'll see.
but this is the thing with him though. Him coming off the bench or even playing in games when Anthony Davis is hurt is gonna be such an upgrade because he can still get you. He can still get you 19. He can score. He can score on the low block. He can hit from the outside. He has some scoring tools still, and you're playing him with guys like Jackson Hayes now, who can play the five, and you can have Wood at the four. You can have him out there with Vanderbilt. You can have him out there with Rui. It's a bunch of different like lineups with those bigs out there that you could throw around here with them to kind of make up for that lack of defense that he has. So even when he's out there with Rui or when he's out there with Jared or out there with Jackson, his or even Anthony Davis if he's healthy, his objective is to go out there and score at that point. He don't gotta play no he don't gotta play D for real.
That's
His
true.
objective is to go out there and score. He get his 15, 16, just be a threat and another guy the defense has to worry about to make Anthony Davis's life a little bit easier, to make Bron's life a little bit easier, make D'Lo's life
Hmm.
a little bit easier, and hopefully
Hmm.
he can become more consistent.
Of course.
Yo, I think the Lakers could be a scary team in the West, bro. And and this is like the perfect team to have around them because you have spot up shooters, you have some young guys. I didn't even mention Austin Reeves.
Huh.
You
AR-15, so supposedly
AR,
call him.
AR-15 exactly.
But I had some people in my workplace, they disagree with that name very much. They don't feel like he deserved that nickname yet. Gilbert, he got to play consistently
Why?
for
That's the initials in
they.
his number.
I, but they say he didn't deserve it. They like, nah, he got to play consistent for another 2 more seasons. He's got to show that he can really do it. That's
Man,
what some of the code
bro,
words said. It got,
Andre Andre Karolinka was being called AK-47 as soon as he got in the league, dog. But it's because this was the AK, his number 47.
but Andre Karolinko was a boy. But he did his thing though. And
I
you
mean, Andre Karolinka was super
with
tough.
Matt
He was
Harpin
super
and
tough.
all right, all
And
right, come
Booker
on
and
now.
them, yeah, he was tough, bro. He was tough.
All right,
I know he was
right.
tough.
So Andre
But
Karolinko was a
but
beast.
bro, Austin Reeves showed us from his rookie season as a
Does
project.
he have potential? Absolutely. Do I think
But
he's one of the best? I think he's one of the as a shooting guard. He's one of the best shooting guards coming up right now in terms of young talent. Absolutely, absolutely.
he's and he's a bucket.
Mm.
And he's gritty. We seen it. He's punk for it. Like
Hustle. Oh yeah, hustle. Yeah.
like I really like him. So and I think he's gonna take a lot of that scoring off of Bron this season because
Mm.
everybody's expecting like the slow
I don't know. I've been seeing Braun work out,
the
man. My man looking like, listen, I don't know. Braun looking like
thing. No, you don't gotta have him out there wilding now though. Look at
you
the
don't,
depth that
you
they have
don't,
now.
you don't. But Braun still look
You don't gotta
like,
have him out there wilding, and he'll turn it up. He'll turn it up when he got to.
uh,
I already turned it up when he got to.
right.
But he shouldn't have to on a nightly basis now. That's the
Okay,
thing.
that's fair.
He
That's fair.
shouldn't have to put up 35 and 8 on a nightly basis.
Right.
But that's and yeah, that's all I got to say about it for real. For real. I think they just put the best the correct pieces around Brian. He's got rim protection. He's got other scorers. He's got spot up shooters. He's got guys
Mm-hmm.
that can run. He's got guys that can defend. He, he's got veterans. He's got young guys. Like he's got everything.
Right.
He's got a lot of talent on his team now. And being that they play the Nuggets 4 times a year,
Yeah.
like, and I know the Suns do too, but I think the tension between them two is a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
So
man. The Nuggets got a little too arrogant. Well, it's, hey, if you win a title, I believe you should get to be arrogant. You proved you were the
they got
best
all the
team.
right.
You were the best team out of 29 teams, and out of
Mm.
those 16 playoff teams, including the play-ins, you survived and triumphed in the battlefield. And yeah,
And
I don't disagree with it.
and this is my thing with the Nuggets. That's why I
Yeah,
like them too, because they really have been humble. Like Nikola Jokic won back to
I
back.
love Jokic.
He won back to back MVPs, and he acts like he got Employee of the Month. Like
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
yeah,
This is why, and when I said this on the episode, when I saw Joel get so ecstatic about the MVP, and listen, I understand that's an award you should be. I get it, right? How many people win MVP? Right? How many people that were stars didn't win MVP? It's not something you can just get. But I felt like I don't know his. I felt like for him that was it for him. I do. I felt like that was what he really wanted, and the championship was like, did he not want that? I think he wanted that, but I don't. I think that MVP was more important than the ring. That was just my honest thoughts. And a lot of guys killed me for that. But damn, now I'm seeing some people turn around saying the same stuff I'm saying. So now it's like I'm not that crazy anymore. And
Yeah.
Jokic to me has the mentality like I would want my superstar to have Jokic's mentality, man. Like
hmm
I
Like everything
would.
cool, but that ring mean the most. That
That
championship
ring, exactly. That's what
most.
defines your legacy at the end of the day. The MVP actually defines it, but that ring, how many guys, how many Hall of Famers get clowned? We watched Charles Barkley. Hey, love Charles. Love Charles. You ever watch this? Love you. Love
Mhm.
TNT. Love it. How many times Charles Barkley get clowned by Shaq because he doesn't have a ring?
Exactly.
And he's kind of just has to like shut up a little bit. But I hate the ring argument because it's not fair, but it
It's,
is what it is.
it's really and I hate that, and I even hate when like we kind of get in that debate here on the show. Cause it's like we
But
it,
but the rings is the most validation of an award. So it's like you
it is, but this is the thing, Colin. This is the thing. If every single superstar had a ring, how important would it be at that point?
that's true too. Great
Like
observation.
like
Great point.
what makes it so valuable is that everybody can't get one.
Get it when everyone can't get one.
Everybody can't have one.
No.
Look at the Jordan there. Like you said, Barkley was in that era. Did get a ring? I don't know if Clyde. I don't know. If, I
John
can't remember.
Stockton never won a ring.
John
Carl
Stockton,
Malone never won a ring.
exact.
There's so
Allen
many
Iverson
stars. Allen Iverson, back in
got a ring.
I still say you take Shaq off that damn Lakers team. Sixers take it
hmm
to 7. I think Sixers and 7.
Steve Nash never got a ring.
Steve
Melo
Nash never won a
got a
ring.
ring.
And he played with some of the most dominant teams ever.
Mhm.
The Phoenix Suns with the whole offense, Mike Dan, oh my, the 7-second offense, literally being implemented to this day. So it's
Yep.
like, yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like you said, the Lakers definitely got the best. Me personally, I hate the workers. We're gonna, I always trash the Lakers just because, but like you said, you made some great points. They got the most solid, balanced team, and considering the fact they got the best chemistry out of those. The Bucks don't have Damian. I think Damian the Greek Freak, their chemistry will probably be a little bit more seamless compared to
Mhm.
because I just think Bill, Booker, and Durant. That's just now they're all smart enough. I think they'll figure it out, but it's gonna kind of remind me of the 2011 Heat where they kind of struggled in the beginning because
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
was trying to figure out, okay, do I take over here? Do I take over here? Do I take over here? I feel like that's going to be with the Suns a little bit. But KD is a little bit older than those two. So I think,
Right.
is it fair to ask him to be the one to take the most of a step back out of those three? He is. Hey, that's KD now, right? So can he do it? Is he willing to do it? Who really knows? But the Lakers just got the best chemistry. They've been around each other the longest. And when you got someone like Bron, I consider Bron like how I consider Tom Brady. As long as you got those type of guys on your team,
Always in it.
you always got a damn shot, in my opinion. I'll never overlook. The only time I ever overlooked Bron was when he went to the Lakers his first year. Because they really just like, and he almost took him to the playoffs, literally. He
Right.
almost did actually. So it wasn't even like. So yeah. So yeah, I had to agree with you on the Lakers on that.
Sure.
All
Really?
right.
You think anybody else, bro? You think? I mean, the Suns obviously got to throw in there.
I mean, I told you like the Bucks. I think Giannis and the Greek Freak, their pick and roll is going to be just as deadly as how Joel's and James Harden was, in my opinion. Because I just think Dame and the Greek Freak is damn near unfair to me. I really think the Bucks are better than the Celtics, but because the Celtics have more options compared to the Bucks.
Right.
But
I mean, but
man,
I mean,
that conference finals,
but
if
let's just kind of more in a sense there because you like imagine if the Bucks had to worry about Brook Lopez getting 20 a game. They don't got to worry about that because
Brook Lopez, Chris
feel me.
Middleton,
Yeah,
because he kind of regressed last season. He kind of regressed. Can he
yeah,
step it back up and become that
hmm
guy that was All Star, that was
and
like looked at as the second option to Giannis, right? So,
right,
like, can he get back to that? It kind of hinges on that. He's an X factor to me. Because
hmm
Dame and Giannis are going to do. Brook Lopez even going to do his thing. He don't need to average 20 points a game. Now you got Dame. He can give you 15, 17, get you boards, block the shots, and do what he does. But Chris Middleton is the X factor to me.
for
So,
sure.
and I think the Bucks are better than the Celtics. That's what's in the group chat. I think the Bucks, man, that's a hell of a conference finals matchup. Bucks and Celtics. Oh
We
man,
won't get it though. I know for a fact we're not gonna get
what?
it though.
I don't listen. If we make the conference finals, I'm gonna talk my shit, and I'm gonna keep saying we're going to the finals till we lose.
Bro,
Till it's an
it, it,
absolute loss.
it happens every year. The teams you think supposed to meet up in the conference finals, supposed to meet up in the finals, it never happens.
I feel like bearing any injuries aside, they really like it would be massively disappointing those two don't meet the final. If any injuries aside, those two are by far it's literally it's
Always
one
the
A,
culprit.
one B.
That's always the culprit.
1A, 1B. And then everyone else is just like you can rank it there, right? But 1A, 1B. That's those two.
Right.
So it's like I'm excited. The East is really effing exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to me. I'm ready for October 24th. I know preseason games been. I don't watch preseason games. I think they
No.
just give the chance to let the rookies and two-way players and undrafted guys and fight for the chance to get onto the actual, But
No.
October 24th, man, I'm looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it. The RDP crew is looking forward to it, even though NFL season is starting away. But with that being said, that concludes episode 133 of the Restricted Zone podcast. And gotta give a big shout out to my fellow co-hosts, the two-man crew. We held it down. Hopefully the fans enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed recording this episode. Like Kyrie said, leave a like, subscribe, comment, give us your feedback, good or bad. We want to hear it all. So especially the negative feedback. So we use that to improve ourselves. So give us anything you guys got. We want to hear it all, man. Kyrie, you want to add anything else?
Hey, you already said it, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep tuning in. Hey, I'm saying again, if you not subscribed, you watch it because I see them percentages. If you not subscribed, you watch it. Hit that subscribe button, please, for y'all.
Hit the subscribe. Just listen. Don't even
I'm-
subscribe. Just hit the like. The like
that
just
too,
helps us get out there.
bro. It's all free.
The
It's
likes
all
and it's
free.
free. You don't have to pay a dime, especially
I'm.
on the edge. You guys are streaming. You guys are listening to the audio more than the YouTube, and I appreciate that just as much because that means
Mm-hmm.
we are doing something great. But YouTube is really where we're trying to make ourselves more out there. So please try
Yeah,
to help us out. Like I said, give us feedback, criticism, whatever. We want to hear it all. So we
absolutely.
we appreciate what you guys do for us, and that's why we keep dropping more and more episodes, and we personally enjoy it because we love sports. Every single guy on the RZP crew is a fanatic of sports. We talk about baseball, football, wrestling, basketball, college basketball. Kyrie plan on doing UFC soon, so be on the lookout for any UFC fans. It's gonna be in the works. Like I said, subscribe and don't miss any of it. And that's how you be in tune and everything. So with that being said, everyone have a great day, whatever place you are at the time of this recording. Have a great night, and like I said, be ready and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.
Sure. Salute.